Baby steps?
It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Oh boy.
Baby steps.
Hello, my name is Jay, and this is episode 5 of Baby Steps Out the Door. So the thing I was worried would happen from last episode, well, it ended up happening. I gave myself 3 homework assignments, and I only ended up doing one of them. And it was the one that was the least important. So, I guess I'll talk about that. I almost didn't even want to do an episode because I felt like I didn't really accomplish anything in the past few weeks. I mean, compared to what I talked about in the last episode, it was going to be really hard to outdo that. There were a lot of things that I was able to do that I talked about in the last episode. Some that I planned, some that I didn't. So it ended up just being a bunch of different things, to where by the end of that, I felt like I did a lot. It was a lot of first steps towards things, but I felt like I got stuff done. Okay, so let me talk about the homework assignments that I gave myself from last episode. One was to do a little more driving. One was to go on more walks. And one of them was to play a game that has been sitting on my shelf for a few weeks that I've been wanting to play because I haven't really played any games this year yet. It was supposed to be a reward of some kind for everything that I did from the past episode. Just a way of saying, good job, keep it up. So you can probably guess by now, of those 3 homework assignments, the only one that I did, it was play the video game. It was play Shantae Advance, which took me, I think, about a week to get through. And it's not that it was that long of a game. By the time that I beat it, the time that came up said like 9 hours. Ended up getting 95% complete. A couple of collectibles that I was missing, but other than that, I pretty much got everything and did everything in that game, so not too bad. But it took me a week. Couple of hours every day. And in that week alone, I could have done other stuff. I could have done a little bit of driving. I could have gone on some walks. There was nothing that was stopping me from going on walks apart from it just being incredibly hot outside. Like hitting almost 100 most days. But I could have taken walks in the morning. Didn't even have to be 20 or 30 minutes, even if it was like a 10, 15-minute walk, just something. But I didn't do that. And I didn't do any driving. I finished a book, the Writer's Digest book that I talked about last episode. Read a comic book, read the Infamous, it's called Infamous. It's a tie-in to the video game series Infamous. It took me only about an hour, read that in one sitting. So that's something, I guess. That's it. As far as books, I don't really have anything to say about either of those. Neither really left an impact. So I'm just trying to think, what do I even talk about for this episode? How I failed? How I kind of called it last episode that a video game was going to be a distraction? I don't know if I can entirely blame it for me not wanting to do the other stuff. I've just been kind of in a lazy mood. I don't want to be. I've just had like a really weird mindset lately. Maybe it's because of things that are coming up in my life. Maybe it's just because I'm coming off of this high where I was able to do a lot of things and get a lot of stuff done. And in a weird way, kind of setting myself up for failure by thinking I was able to top that or do more of that. Maybe I just give myself one homework assignment and just stick with that. Maybe cut out the video games until I get something major done in my life. This might sound kind of weird, but I need more of a motivator than just getting my life together. These are things that I know I need to do, but I should also want to do them too, right? And I really don't want to just start a lot of these either mini goals or main goals and then immediately stop afterward, just like so many other things in my life. I took guitar lessons for 2 years, never practiced once. I've learned in that amount of time that this isn't something I really want to do. If I didn't have to put in the hard work, maybe I would have, but you know what? That's it. That's the thing that throws me off, putting in the work. If there was a way I could convince myself to where what I'm doing is not putting in work, what I'm doing can be fun, it can be fulfilling, it doesn't have to feel like a chore, maybe that will make some of this stuff easier to do. Because playing that video game was me basically just putting everything else that I wanted to do on hold, which is what I was afraid was going to happen and what ended up happening. Something I did try though, and this isn't a positive thing, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because I just need stuff to talk about. Something I did try was to do another day without internet. And I can talk about that real quick. Didn't go so well. I mean, kind of did, but then it didn't. For about 6 hours one day, I was able to do that. Didn't use my laptop or my phone or any streaming services through my TV. I did watch a couple of things on my TV that day, but it was Blu-rays that I had. A lot of stuff that I did the first time that I tried doing a day without internet, I did this time as well. I did some push-ups and sit-ups in the morning, just some morning exercises, had some breakfast, cleaned up my room a little bit, made lunch for myself later on in the day. Even when I started using the internet again, I was still doing stuff. Because I think I was still in that mindset of, let me at least use this day to get certain things done that I need to get done, even if I'm still using the internet at certain times. I guess another thing that has been taking up a lot of my time these past couple of weeks is kind of obsessing a little too much about these voice acting classes that I've been taking. What I want, what I strive to get out of these type of classes is something that I probably can only get by one-on-one sessions. Me and a tutor or teacher or something. Being in a class with other people, and I can tell, there are a lot of people in there that either still don't know what's going on, have not been pushing themselves, and worst of all, have not been taking this seriously. Some have. Not everyone has, though. I obsess over all of these homework assignments that I've been getting from these voice acting classes. Some of them I do put a lot of effort into. Others, I just put something out there because I have to. Something I wish I could do, or wish I knew how to do, or find something on my laptop or computer or whatever, some app that can help me do this, is put headphones on and listen to the way that I sound while I'm talking. I sort of have stuff like that, but it's always delayed by like a second or two, so that's not good enough. That's not what I want. Like, I have no idea if anything's going to come of these lessons that I'm taking. My last lesson is the time that this episode gets uploaded will be that day. It will be that Thursday that this gets uploaded. That will be my last lesson of the month and my last lesson of the 4-lesson package that I signed up for. And I guess whatever happens after that is up to me. Last week there was something that happened in one of my classes that made me feel like I shouldn't have signed up for this stuff. I'll just put it this way. There's somebody in that class who has a lot more experience than everyone else in there. And this person read something in a way that was not only against some rules that I had been taught, but it was also a very expressive performance to the point where the teacher was absolutely stunned. And all I could think was, what am I doing here? Or what are they doing here? They're well above the level that all of us are at. Most of us are, never done anything like this before. This is our first time taking lessons, learning anything about this stuff. Like for me, if I do mess around with my voice, if I do take a lot of takes, if I do take time trying to read something in a way that just feels right, I know there's a lot more that I'm capable of than what I'm doing right now. That not only just applies to these classes, that applies to just other aspects of my life. Something that was interesting about having that sort of reality check moment, seeing that kind of performance, feeling very small because of it, it did lead to something good. Not during class, but after class. Started having doubts about doing this class and if I was there for the right reason, or if I even had the right mindset while being in that class. And I don't think I did. I like doing these classes, but I think in that moment I was reminded, I'm not here for this person's reason. I'm here for a different reason. That took a while to kind of understand and come to terms with. But something good that came out of feeling really weird after all that stuff was I started channeling my very confused and frustrated and annoyed and other adjectives, all those different emotions, channeling that into poetry. I can't call myself a writer because I, just like other aspects of my life, I start writing and then I give up on it very easily. What I've learned recently, though, within the past week, is things that I write don't have to be long-form stories. They can be small. All these things that I feel could be part of a larger story, I've been leaving it just like 10 sentences and telling myself that is good enough. I can just leave this as a poem of sorts and just view this thing as a complete, finished piece of work. So I wrote a couple poems. They're all very pessimistic, but in doing so, it led me to another one of my homework assignments that I had to do for my voice acting class. Something we had to do was take one of 10 different pictures. Some of them are landscapes, some of them are well-known characters, and write dialogue and perform dialogue for that picture. Now, this is actually a carryover from last session where a couple of people were able to write stuff down and then perform it. I think only 3 people were able to go. There's 7 other in the class. So that's the thing we're going to be doing next class, is get to all the people that weren't able to do it during the last session. And I'm one of them. And this is something that I've been feeling in the past. It's like, if I'm going to be in this class, I need to do something that nobody else is doing. So what I decided to do is take every single picture that looked either really boring or did not have any sort of recognizable character in it at all and write something for it. Write a little sketch, write a few lines of dialogue, write something that can be performed. I wrote 5 little stories that went along with some of the most boring pictures in the pile. I really feel like most people are going to write for the characters. I should just write for every image, but there are some characters up there that I'm like, not even going to try. Sorry. Spyro the Dragon's one of the characters. Cloud Strife is one of the characters. Diddy Kong, which I did write a little bit for. Princess Peach. Duke Nukem is another. Even if they know nothing about the character, at least they have a face. Something that can spark a personality trait. That would be very easy for somebody to write for. I wanted to go against the grain and really challenge myself. I started off with like 1 or 2 pictures that I wrote for that I really had nothing to say about. One of them, I came up with stuff in like 10 seconds. It was like a gut instinct. I'm like, okay, this reminds me of a particular movie. Let me just talk about that movie for 10 seconds. That's what I did. It was really bad, but that was my starting point. There was an image of 2 girls playing patty cake, and I wrote a whole Freddy Krueger nursery rhyme type thing around it. Which is not what I thought I was going to do when I started writing it, but when I did, I thought it was going to be very playful. It was just going to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, something, 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 rhyme with the 4. And then as I just kept writing, it turned into this like really creepy nursery rhyme, and I really surprised myself by doing that. I don't know if anyone else saw that picture and thought that, or if anybody else is even going to talk about that picture, but I wrote about it, and I had fun doing it. And there were 2 other pictures on there. There were 2 landscapes that I thought nobody's going to write about these. And I had fun writing for them. Doing that kind of stuff makes me want to write. If writing put me in a better mood when I was feeling really weird, really uncomfortable, not in the right mindset, I should probably be doing more of that. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Most of the writing that I've done in the past have been these 5 to 10 page shorts with some really stupid comedy that I only find funny, but it had a beginning, middle, and end. It was a complete thing. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't put it anywhere. I may have sent it to a friend, but that was about it. But it felt good doing that. If I'm ever feeling down, just write. Doesn't have to be about anything, just write. There are a couple of online Zoom meetings that I've found where anybody can join that are just about writing. People show up in the Zoom meeting, people talk for a few minutes, then it's quiet time for about an hour. You can write about whatever you want, and then in the last few minutes, you just talk about what you wrote and whether you felt good about it or bad about it. That's it. That sounds amazing. That sounds like a way that I can just get back into the groove of writing. There's some things that I started writing that I've never finished that maybe I should finish. I don't know if that's an important thing to do in my life this year. At least I would feel some bit of accomplishment by doing something like that. Something I wanted to do at the start of this podcast, because I didn't know how this was going to go at the beginning. I didn't know this was going to be every episode I give myself a homework assignment, and then I talk about that the next episode. I didn't know that's how it was going to be when I started this. I didn't expect it to be every episode was going to be an update. So here's what I'm thinking. If there ever comes a time I'm taking things either super slow or I'm just not in the right mindset and I just don't do anything, I would like to spend an episode talking about a hurdle in my life, something that I've experienced since maybe childhood or as a teenager, or something that was new in adulthood, and focus an entire episode on that one hurdle and either what I've done to overcome that or what I need to do to overcome that. Because there's some things, some really weird things that I can absolutely talk about because I've had firsthand experience with it. Maybe I can talk about certain fears, or maybe all my fears, when they started, how they developed. Maybe I could do that. One episode is all about fears, about every single fear that I have. Or maybe one episode could be about every single fear that I have about driving, because there are a lot. There is a reason why I don't drive. It's because there is so much stuff that scares me about driving. Maybe I do an episode all about that. And I don't even know if I want to give myself a homework assignment. I guess that sort of is one, to just give myself the entirety of 2 weeks to record an episode that is topic-based and not update-based. If I'm not going to do my big tasks, if I'm, for whatever reason, putting those on hold, which I really shouldn't, maybe I need some more positive outlets to get me to the point of not just needing to do the things that I need to do, but also wanting to do them. Maybe writing can help me. And maybe doing a podcast episode about a topic instead of homework and update, maybe that can help me too. These are optional. These are things I would like to do. It's not homework, so no pressure. We'll see what I talk about on the next episode. I have no idea at this point. Heck, the last episode, I had no idea what I was going to talk about until I finally got to one Sunday or Monday and realized I've actually done some stuff. I can actually talk about some stuff. Last episode, 2 hours of audio that I had to cut down to about 30 minutes. I don't think I can do that again. I don't want to do that again. This is a one-person operation, this podcast. This is all me. I don't want to put myself through that again. Anyway, for anybody that listened to this, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm kind of just doing this podcast for me, but if anybody else decides to give it a listen, that's really cool, honestly. But yeah, we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. Until then, once again, my name is Jay, and bye for now.